blogosphere contemplates the whereabouts of the oil spilt in the Gulf of Mexico. Also, web users from Armenia and Azerbaijan encourage dialogue between their countries via online videos. And a Hungarian priest preaching on a skateboard. All of that is in the web news on France 24.
Where have all the litres of oil that spilled into the Gulf of Mexico gone? On the 4th of August, the US government announced that 74% of the oil had been eliminated. But independent experts from the University of Georgia are interpreting the same data differently. They say that 70 to 79% of the barrels of oil that escaped into the ocean remain in the water. The authorities and BP are the subject of much criticism online. This article from news site The Daily Beast reveals that at the same time as officials were announcing the oil had disappeared, fishermen hired by BP were still coming across tar balls and were asked by their employers to keep their findings to themselves. This fisherman has tried to get the authorities to acknowledge that oil and chemical products are still present in open water. In this video, Mike Stewart shows the proof and announces the claim that the oil has been eliminated.
You can see it's oil.
They say the oil's gone. We disagree.
Former employees of BP's subcontractors are starting to criticize the management of the cleanup operations. This American man says there were oversights and the health and safety of workers was put at risk when they were cleaning up the coastlines. Finally, the man behind this YouTube video says there will be serious consequences both in the short and long term. He appeals to citizens to continue their mobilization. Could the internet re-establish dialogue between Armenia and Azerbaijan? For the past 20 years, the two countries have been disputing the region of Nagorno-Karabakh, a province in Azerbaijan mostly populated by Armenians. It self-proclaimed its independence after the fall of the Soviet Empire. This was followed by 4 years of war that claimed tens of thousands of victims, until a ceasefire was negotiated in 1994. A solution has still not been found, and now web users are trying to use the web to encourage dialogue between Armenia and Azerbaijan. This site invites young journalists in the region to create mini-documentaries that are broadcast on the internet and give different perspectives on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. This video, for example, looks at life in Lachin. It was renamed Berdzor by Armenians who took control of the town in 1992. Today it's inhabited by poor Armenian families who established themselves here with the help of the Yerevan authorities. This video tries to paint a different picture of the residents here. This other mini-documentary tells the story of Musa, a child born into a family of Azeri refugees who had to flee Karabakh during the war. The portrait illustrates how the conflict is kept alive in schools in Azerbaijan. And according to this student who was interviewed for this film that focuses on Azerbaijan's youth, both countries have preconceived ideas about the other. They've created stereotypes. She says this needs to end in order to finally achieve peace in the region. North Korea has moved on to Twitter. The regime had already created a YouTube account in order to share videos praising head of state Kim Jong-il. And now Pyongyang has opened a Twitter account for online propaganda purposes. The microblog is affiliated to the official website Urimin Zokiri and could soon well be inaccessible for South Koreans. Seoul has blocked access to 65 North Korean sites, and anyone who tries to access them could face up to 7 years in prison. Miller floating in the sky, Miller in the jungle, and also Miller the rock star. It was whilst watching her daughter taking a nap that young Finnish mum Adele Enarsson started to imagine what her little girl was dreaming about. This advertising executive, currently on maternity leave, started to create different scenarios using everyday household objects. The blog has enjoyed immediate success. Zoltan Lendvai is not your everyday priest. This 45-year-old Hungarian clergyman preaches to young people from his skateboard. This video shows him in mid-sermon to a group of teenagers. His unusual way of preaching appears to be proving successful, as more and more youngsters are regularly attending Mass after having seen the priest on his skateboard.
Welcome back to the newsroom here at France.